What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review, or as I'm going to be calling it from here on out, LQ's Pop Culture Review. Thank you so much for joining me right here at episode 2 of my new rebooted show. And today, I've got a few topics I'm going to talk about. I've got a show and tell, and then we'll wrap things up. So, on my new show, the LQ Pop Culture Review, what I do is it's a weekly show. I upload it on Sundays, and I have a couple topics that I share. So a couple topics that I share, and then I'll do a show and tell, and then I'll take any questions that I get emailed to me. You can email me those questions at thelqreview@yahoo.com. And yeah, I try to keep the show around a half hour long. My first episode went a little long, so we'll kind of just see how this one plays out. So again, make sure you send questions to thelqreview@yahoo.com, and make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I put out this weekly show. I put up some other fun videos here and there, and yeah, make sure you hit that notification bell as well. So let's get to topic number 1. And topic number 1 is for you Harry Potter fans. All right, I wouldn't call myself a big Potterhead. I've read the books, I've seen all the movies, including the Fantastic Beasts movies. So I'm a fan of the franchise. I love the Harry Potter land over at Universal Studios Florida. But let me show you some pictures of those here. But I'm not like a huge Potterhead. My wife, on the other hand, she is a huge Potterhead, and she had to watch the Return to Hogwarts Harry Potter reunion on HBO Max, and I was more than happy to sit down and watch it with her because, like I said, I'm a fan. And this show, it was a 2-hour special. I was surprised it was long. You know, HBO has done a couple of these reunion shows now, and they've been about an hour long. This one was 2 hours long, and I was just amazed with the reverence that HBO Max showed to the Harry Potter franchise. From reconstructing sets to bringing in past stars, even some stars of the show who didn't have very huge roles, kind of supporting characters, to the end, at the end of the special, having my favorite moments of this special was the in memoriam section, remembering those who have passed on. Richard Harris, guys, I learned a lot about Richard Harris in this special. You know, I was always the guy who said, I'm glad that I'm not glad that Richard Harris died, don't misquote me, but I'm glad that Michael Gambon got to take on the role of Dumbledore, because I thought that he had a lot more energy. And when it came down to the duels that Dumbledore had, specifically the one with Voldemort in Order of the Phoenix, I felt that Gambon just portrayed that more convincingly than I believe Richard Harris would have. But I love Richard Harris as an actor, and I didn't know that he was kind of a trickster on set, you know, making practical jokes and just messing around with people. So I actually really like that. But the part that really got me, obviously, was the Alan Rickman section. Alan Rickman is one of my favorite actors of all time. Obviously, Die Hard is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I really felt like Alan Rickman, it gave us some nice insight into how he felt about the role of Snape, especially the fact that you know, J.K. Rowling, he's the only actor that J.K. Rowling shared the ending with long before she even got to the last book. I thought that was some really neat insight into the character and into the actor as well, just that J.K. Rowling had that trust with him. But I love Alan Rickman, and you know, between the Sheriff of Nottingham, Hans Gruber, and Snape, he's just one of those guys that you know, it definitely has a special place in my heart as far as, you know, the roles that he played as I was growing up. So yeah, this Harry Potter reunion special, Return to Hogwarts, it was really cool. It was especially cool seeing the 3 main actors, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, the actors who portrayed them, seeing them together, sharing their memories, even getting emotional, referring to each other as family. It really warmed my heart in the sense that, you know, I grew up with these characters too. Now, the first movie came out when I was what, 20 years old. So I was an adult when the first movie came out. But when I say I grew up with these characters, I mean that these characters came out. These movies came out at a time in my life when I was developing my own personal worldview, at a time when I was graduating college, at a time when I was figuring out what I was going to do with my life, at a time when I was getting married and starting a family. That is the time period that spanned my life in conjunction with the Harry Potter movies. So did I grow up with them? No, I didn't grow up with them, but I grew into who I am with these Harry Potter movies. So there's definitely a lot of nostalgia tied to these movies for me. And I just, like I said, I've read each book once. I probably won't ever go back and reread them just because I'm not really into that type of sitting down and reading books. I'm not that person. I'm more of that movie person. And I gotta tell you that from that movie standpoint, it was great seeing the directors visiting in the reunion, getting the insight into why that they made the decisions that they made, getting Gary Oldman, Helena Bonham Carter, getting her on the set, getting these heavyweights, these giants of British theater and British cinema, getting them in this reunion special. It just really felt special. And if this reunion special did anything for me, it whet my appetite for a new Harry Potter movie. Not a Fantastic Beasts movie, but a new Harry Potter movie that has him as an adult. Now, can that be the Cursed Child? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't really care. But I would love to see Harry, Ron, and Hermione's story continue with the original actors. So I think that would, you think about how The Force Awakens performed, how Avengers Infinity War performed. I think that a ninth Harry Potter movie with the original actors would have that kind of performance. Spider-Man No Way Home, I really feel like it would have that kind of performance. Would it hit Avengers Endgame numbers? No, probably not. But if we talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, Avengers Infinity War, we talk about those movies, and yeah, I think it would perform to that caliber. The Force Awakens, I think it would perform to that caliber. I really do. I think it's that there's that appetite, that hunger for these characters to return. So that's my take on it. What did you think of the Harry Potter reunion special, Return to Hogwarts? I loved it. I thought it was filled with nostalgia, filled with emotion, and also gave us a lot of insight into the making of those movies. So let me know what you thought in the comments down below. All right, time for topic number 2. Topic number 2, let's talk about the Book of Boba Fett, the first 2 episodes. Now, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. That's been well documented. I love the Star Wars movies. Nothing will ever replace the original trilogy for me. But I'm also somebody who I'm a fan of the prequel series. I didn't hate the sequels. Go ahead. Throw your tomatoes at your phone or your tablet or your laptop or whatever you're watching this on right now. Go ahead and throw them, because I didn't hate the sequels. I didn't like the sequels that much. The Last Jedi, I feel, was the strongest of the sequels. Again, go ahead and get those tomatoes ready, but Rise of Skywalker was clearly the weakest one. Lots of missed opportunities in Rise of Skywalker. But I like Star Wars. To me, bad Star Wars is still a fun time. I guess I just choose to be a little more optimistic in my life. I don't know. But the Book of Boba Fett was something that I was obviously looking forward to. I think The Mandalorian is great. It's some of the best Star Wars that we've ever gotten, not just in the Disney era, but ever. The Mandalorian is phenomenal. And I was expecting the Book of Boba Fett to bring the same kind of energy, the same kind of wit, and kind of the same feel to it. And it has succeeded in some of those levels. It definitely has the same kind of feel that The Mandalorian has, the same kind of aesthetic. But unfortunately, it's not quite there yet on a storytelling level. And part of that reason, I think, is because they're trying to do too much. Now, granted, we're only 2 episodes in. As we progress in this series, we could definitely see that there was a logical order that they decided to tell everything in, and a logical means for doing that. But right now, I feel like they're trying to tackle a whole lot, and they don't necessarily have the time to tackle everything that they're trying to tackle, which I think a lot of Disney Plus series between Marvel and Star Wars, I think there's been several that have had that problem, Hawkeye being one in particular. But it's been good. Book of Boba Fett has been good, but it hasn't been to that level of Mandalorian yet. Now, I was always worried about making a Boba Fett movie or a Boba Fett show because some of the intrigue of this character is not knowing much about him. You know, we saw him when he was a kid in Attack of the Clones, and that was fine. But in Empire, we didn't know much about him. All we knew is that he was the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. And then we learned some about him in the extended universe. I'm on record saying that I think the extended universe, which is now referred to as Star Wars Legends, I think most of it is crappy fan fiction. I don't think most of it is that good. And what we're seeing Disney doing now is cherry picking the stuff that was good and leaving everything else in the trash heap of Legends, which that's fine to me. I don't have any kind of nostalgic tie to Legends like a lot of people do, because I grew up thinking, whoa, this is kind of bad. If it didn't have Timothy Zahn as the author, I thought it was pretty bad. And unfortunately, a lot of crap came out that was not written by Timothy Zahn. So for me, the idea of exploring who Boba Fett is, that kind of scared me. That kind of scared me, kind of made me nervous. But what we're doing in the Book of Boba Fett is we're not going back to pre-Empire. So that pre-Empire time is still actually kind of left as a bit of a mystery. And I think that's smart. I think that's smart. What they're doing is they're going post-Sarlacc pit. We saw him come out of the Sarlacc pit, and everybody's making this big thing out about the Parks and Recreation, Patton Oswalt predicting how it would happen and then it actually happening that way. How else would it have happened? I mean, he's not a prophet, and he's not that influential of an actor. He just played in Reno 911, The Hunt for QAnon. he's sorry. Don't let me get off on a tangent. But we pick up after the Sarlacc pit, and we see him get picked up by these Tusken Raiders, and then we get kind of a dances with wolves type of story where he's living with the natives that we've always kind of looked at as being savages, and he's learned to respect their culture and kind of become one of them. And it's a great story. It's a story that we've seen in many different iterations. Even Avatar kind of told the same story, right? Unfortunately, I'm not as interested in that story as I am with him taking over Jabba's empire in Tatooine. And unfortunately, we're spending a lot more time with the Tusken Raiders. Now, my guess is, and I don't know this, but my guess is that as the series progresses, we're going to be spending a lot more time in the post-Mandalorian era, where he's trying to rein in the power of what was Jabba's territory. So it has kind of demystified the character of Boba Fett for me a little bit, kind of like I figured it would. Brought some of the mystery out of the character. The idea of having a large sections of this without him even having his armor. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of good stuff here. It's just not happening. It's really drawn out. It almost feels like this was originally a script for a movie that they decided to make into a show, and because of that, they've got to draw parts of it out because it's not as fast-paced as The Mandalorian was, and for that reason, some of the wit and some of the excitement has been kind of lost because they're telling this slow story. Now, granted, it does have a slow story that has some emotion in it, and it has some, it gives us some time to ponder and reflect upon what it is that Boba Fett is accomplishing and who it is that he's becoming. But at the same time, it's still not as exciting as The Mandalorian was. So like I said, there's still, 5 episodes left. It's very possible that this is going to end up being my favorite Star Wars show yet. But it's not there yet. Right now it is, if I were to rank these two Boba Fett shows, these two Boba Fett episodes so far against all the Mandalorian episodes, both these would be bottom tier episodes because they just haven't quite reached the energy that the Mandalorian has. Don't get me wrong, Boba Fett does not have to bring in legacy characters. Boba Fett does not have to bring in Harrison Ford or Kira or whoever else fans have been clamoring for. None of that has to happen. We don't have to have a Luke Skywalker cameo or something like that in Boba Fett. I just want some energy out of it. In The Mandalorian, we got to see Boba Fett be the galaxy far away's John Wick, and we haven't seen that yet. In fact, what we have seen is a Boba Fett that's gotten his butt kicked by everybody. The assassins, the Tusken Raiders. I mean, he's literally gotten his butt kicked by everybody that he's battled so far. So what I want to see is a Boba Fett who is the most feared person in the galaxy, not because he surrounds himself with people who can kick butt, but because he can kick butt. And if we get that kind of energy with that kind of definition on who Boba Fett is being realized, I think it's going to end up being a lot better. And I think it still has the potential of being a great show. I haven't loved the first 2 episodes, but I've liked them. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. So what did you guys think of the first 2 episodes of Boba Fett? Let me know, or the Book of Boba Fett. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you think I'm off base, or if you think that maybe you agree with me a little bit. Let me know what you think, and I'd love to hear your comments. So let's move on to the next topic. All right, guys, time for topic number 3. Topic number 3 is Hawkeye. Hawkeye Season 1. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it in between? Well, to be honest with you, I found it to be one of the stronger of the Disney Plus Marvel series. And that being said, it's funny, I've enjoyed all the Marvel MCU Disney Plus series, but they've all kind of left me wanting more. And honestly, maybe it's a good thing that they left me wanting more, because I want to keep going back. But at the same time, they left me wanting more because I didn't feel like, honestly, when I go back and look at the Disney MCU shows, I don't feel like any of them tell a consequential story. Like, I don't feel like any of them are required viewing for the MCU. Now, we don't know about Loki yet, you know. Loki, how he's going to fit into this whole multiverse story, we're not sure yet. But I definitely don't feel like Falcon and Winter Soldier was essential viewing. I didn't feel like What If was essential viewing. WandaVision, honestly, I loved WandaVision. That's my favorite MCU show yet. But I didn't feel like it was essential viewing. I'm sorry. I know that's horrible. And maybe things are going to happen down the line that are going to make all these essential viewing. But right now, I'm just like, they didn't tell a story that I feel like has to be present to understand the movies. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm going to end up being wrong on all those. But for Hawkeye, I kind of feel like it had the same problem. It told a very small story that I don't feel felt very consequential. Like it was required viewing. So that being said, there are things that I liked in Hawkeye, and there are things that I did not like. Overall, I really like the show. I think it's one of my favorite. But again, I don't feel like it was very consequential. So let's talk about the bad things first. Let's get the bad things out of the way. The tracksuit mafia was awful. I hated the tracksuit mafia. It's like we're in the MCU now. We are in a universe populated with superheroes. There's a superhero in every corner of the United States, almost every corner of the world by this point. Literally, every corner of the world there's a superhero. So how a organization like the Tracksuit Mafia could amass any power, given the fact that they're all bumbling idiots, is beyond me. That was a little bit hard. That was kind of a hard pill for me to swallow. So the Tracksuit Mafia was not very good. And they had such a presence in this movie, or in this show, that I just really felt like, I really felt like they kind of let us down. They kind of dropped the ball on the Tracksuit Mafia. They kind of used these antagonists as comic relief, and that doesn't make them very antagonizing. Next, it was too short. Coming in at 6 episodes, each episode around a half hour long. I just feel like we're in this age right now of TV shows where the average TV show is like 8 episodes long. What happened to the age where episodes were 23 episodes, 22 episodes long? Now, granted, I know when you have a 23 episode season, you get some filler episodes, but at the same time, there isn't much difference between a 6 hour or a 6 episode, 30-minute per episode show and a movie. If we're going to do long-form storytelling, let's use long-form storytelling and tell longer stories. And I just don't feel... I felt like this felt like a movie that was divided into 6 sections. I did not feel like this was a TV show. I felt like the episodes were too short and the season was too short. So, unfortunately, I felt like they definitely cut Hawkeye short, they cut Kate Bishop short, and they cut Yelena short. And honestly, Hawkeye got cut short more than anybody. This really was Kate Bishop's show. More than Hawkeye's show, it was Kate Bishop's show. I'd be interested in finding out if anybody does any line counting, how many lines each character has in the show. I bet Kate Bishop has more lines than Hawkeye. I bet she does. Alright. Another thing I didn't like, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Again, those tomatoes are ready. Kingpin. I don't like Kingpin. Alright? Now, I love Daredevil seasons 1, 2, and 3. Those are about the only Netflix MCU shows that I liked. I liked Punisher, I guess. Jessica Jones season 1 was okay. The rest of the Netflix shows were garbage. Let's just be honest. They were garbage. Or at least, in my subjective opinion, they were. But Kingpin sucked in this. Alright? He sucked. No, it was Vincent D'Onofrio, and that was great. Everybody wanted Vincent D'Onofrio back. I don't believe this is the same Kingpin as was in Daredevil. Can't convince me of it. Can't convince me of it. What happened to his sense of style? What happened to his... The Kingpin from Daredevil season 3 that got in the fight with Daredevil and Bullseye, at the end of that season, he would have ripped Kate Bishop in half. Ripped her in half. There would have been no fight. It would have been him destroying her. They said, I remember this Vincent D'Onofrio, he said he got leveled up. He was stronger in this than he was in the Daredevil show. Because he got shot with an arrow and he was able to break it off. And him being able to take a lot of damage does not make him stronger. He got his butt kicked by a 20-year-old girl. That's not the Kingpin from Daredevil. I was not a fan of this Kingpin. I was not a fan of this version of Kingpin, and honestly, I hope that he's a variant of the Daredevil version of Kingpin, because this version of Kingpin stained the original Vincent D'Onofrio Kingpin, as far as I'm concerned. So it was not a good interpretation. I hated it. His style, his even the way that he approached Kate Bishop's mom, the way that he interacted with her, it was almost like, I don't know, the whole thing just felt off to me. Alright, so Kingpin, hated him. Alright, let's talk about the good. Those are the 3 things I hated. So not much. Let's talk about the good. Kate Bishop was wonderful. Haley Steinfeld is she's a up-and-coming great actress. I loved her in Bumblebee. She was fantastic in this. Her wit and her charm was equal to that of Jeremy Renner's, and they played off of each other great. One of my favorite moments in the series was when she brought the package of Christmas stuff so they could have a Christmas party together. I thought that Kate Bishop was wonderful. Alright. The next thing that I liked was Yelena. Yelena is still the best part of Black Widow, and Yelena is one of the bright spots in the MCU right now. Because the MCU, let's face it, ever since Endgame, the MCU has been struggling to find its footing. Not all the movies have been good. Some of them have been bad. And Yelena has been a bright spot moving forward. I think she's going to play a pivotal role in the MCU, and excited to see where she goes next. My favorite scene with Yelena was when she had macaroni with Kate Bishop. I thought that was just, there was so much being said without being said in that scene, and I loved it. Alright, next thing that I liked was Clint's relationship with his family. Alright, I'm a family man, and I get, juggling that work, family life. I get that. Now, obviously, Clint's is far more extreme, being an Avenger and whatnot, but still, at its heart, at its core, he's juggling work and family life. And that can be a chore for anybody, and it's very relatable. It's very nice seeing the way he interacts with his kids, and it's very nice seeing the way that he interacts with his wife. And by the way, his wife is going to be a much bigger character in the MCU moving forward, I do believe. All right, the next thing that I liked was Echo. I don't know that I liked her enough that I think that she warrants her own show, but she had a lot of intensity, and her fight scenes were convincing, and I just found the character to be intriguing. Like I said, I don't think she's intriguing enough that I'm excited about a show, but I am intrigued enough that I would love if she would pop up in someone else's show again, at even a bigger role. A Daredevil show would be wonderful. So Echo was very good. Finally, the last thing that I really liked in Hawkeye was the Christmas setting. it was nice having an MC. You know, the MCU, they've played with genres, right? They've played with political thrillers. They've played with kind of the John Hughes teenage high school movies. They've played with genres, and this was the Christmas genre. You know, there is a genre of Christmas movies, and I felt like this was very much in that Christmas genre with the music, with the themes. It was all playing with that genre, and it all felt very heartwarming at times, and definitely, you know, is something that I think could be in a Christmas rotation for people. I would love it if they would come out with a, like a, what would it be, like a 3.5 hour uncut edition to where they play it like a movie. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think a lot of people would watch that at Christmas time. So, guys, I really liked Hawkeye. I thought it was really well done. I'm really hoping to actually get a season 2. I'm sure that Kate Bishop is going to start popping up in other people's properties. But a season 2 exploring Kate and Clint's relationship as well as who Laura Barton is. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I think fans would really like to see that. So, what did you think of the first season of Hawkeye? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, let's go to our next topic. Alright guys, on to the last topic. The last topic is a return of one of my biggest videos from last year. So one of my biggest videos of last year was ranking the upcoming shark movies for the next year. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rank the upcoming shark movies for 2022. Now, this is the age of COVID, and you know, last year's ranking of shark movies, not all of them came out. Even though you know, they were slated to, not all of them came out. So that's okay. I'm still going to rank my most anticipated shark movies of 2022, hoping that they actually come out. Now, there's one movie that was on my 2021 list that never came out that I'm not going to even include on this list because they haven't even started production on it yet. And that is Alphas, the Sam Worthington movie with the killer whales versus the great whites. That's not even in production. Sam Worthington has been busy working on the Avatar sequels. I'm not even sure if this movie, Alphas, is still going to happen. So, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 shark movies slated to come out in 2022. I'm going to rank them from least anticipated to most anticipated. There's almost certainly going to be other shark movies that come out this year that I just don't know about. If there are others that I don't know about that's not on this list, please tell me about them in the comments down below. Get them on my radar. Alright, so number 6. Number 6 is Amityville Shark House. Of course it's number 6. Crossing over haunted house type stuff with sharks, it's not going to work. It's going to be dumb, and I'm not here for it. I'm sorry, there's 7. There are 7. So Amityville Shark House is number 7. And yeah, it's one of those things where I'll watch it because it's a shark movie, but I know it's going to be awful. And Amityville Shark House is number 7. Alright, number 6 is Sharkula. Yup. It comes out in October of 2022, and it is vampires controlling a bloodthirsty shark to protect them from the evil human beings. I'm serious, that's what it is. Sharkula. I actually can't wait to watch this one just because it sounds so absurd, but I know it's not going to be good. That's number 6. Alright, number 5. Number 5 is Shark, you son of a bee. I'm not going to say that word. Not on a video. But yeah, it looks like, I mean, obviously the phrase is lifted from Jaws, but I believe that it is about a shark terrorizing a small town. That's what I get from the very brief synopsis over on IMDb. It's number 5 on the list simply because of the Jaws reference in the title. All right. Number 4 is Beneath the Surface. Beneath the Surface is a British movie about a shark attack and the psychological effects that a survivor has after the attack. This reminds me a little bit of the movie In the Depths from last year, a movie that I famously did not like, and a lot of people did not appreciate me not liking it in the comment sections, but hey, I didn't like it. So I don't know if I'll like this. You know, we've had some movies come out recently, these past 5 years or so, that have dealt with the aftermath of shark attacks, the psychological aftermath, and I just haven't really enjoyed any of them. So we'll see. I'll give this one a shot. It's number 4 though, because I just feel I put it at number 4 because I think it's time for me to enjoy one of those. So it's number 4. All right, number 3 is Fear the Fin. Fear the Fin is, again, based off of the synopsis that I read online. It looks like it is in a world where Jaws just came out. A shark starts terrorizing a sleepy New England town. That's what I get from the synopsis. If that is indeed what it's about, I think it sounds like a lot of fun. A very self-referential shark movie, making lots of references to Jaws, but still taking the shark roller coaster ride that all us shark movie fans love. So I hope that's the route that this takes, and that's why it's number 3. Number 2 is The Requiem, starring Alicia Silverstone. The trailer for that recently came out. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. Now, it could end up being a stinker like Great White was, but honestly, I don't think it looks bad. All right. But the number 1 is one that was on my list last year, and it is The Reef Stalked. Guys, The Reef is one of the best shark movies ever made. I'd say maybe second only to Jaws. It's that good. And this is, you know, obviously not the same cast. Spoiler alert, most of the cast did not survive the first movie. But it's the same filmmakers. And if they can bring the same intensity to The Reef Stalked that they did to the first one, then we're going to have a winner on our hands. We're going to have a winner because The Reef was excellent. And this next one is about some girls out kayaking. They get stranded and they have to survive an assault from a great white shark. And these guys have done it well. These guys have done it well, not just with shark movies, but with crocodile movies as well. So I'm there. I can't wait. This is actually one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And it's been a long time coming. So I know they're in post-production for this now, so it will come out this year. I think it's going to come out during the summer, but I cannot wait for The Reef Stalked. Unfortunately, Alphas is not on this list. So, what is your most anticipated shark movie of 2022? Let me know in the comments down below. Especially let me know if I forgot anything. All right, time for the show and tell. Alright guys, so today's show and tell is going to be Ghostbusters related. And the first piece is going to be the new Ecto 1. So pick this up at Walmart. I'm not crazy about the box art. It's very cartoonish. Again, not crazy about the box art, but there it is. Now, what I am crazy about, though, is the Ecto 1, because it's very reminiscent. For those who were children in the 80s, during the real Ghostbusters TV show, you would have probably gotten a car, an Ecto 1, when you were little, and this Ecto 1 is very reminiscent of that. So here it is. The wheels spin very well. The car operates very well. The doors. Let's see. Maybe the driver's side doors do not open, but the passenger side door does open. And then this passenger side door opens, and then you pull it out like this. So you just got to pull it out a little bit, and you open it all the way, and you got your gunner seat. All right. And to close it, you got to you just kind of slide it back in, and then it'll close. All right. So again, we open it, and then we open it here, slide it out, and then you got your gunner seat. It's a pretty cool feature that they did not have in the original Ecto 1 from when I was younger. Also at the top, we've got our proton blaster. It works. And then this cool feature right here. So let me see this. Get the front, got the Ecto 1. Then in the back, this is pretty cool. You open it up, and then the trap. The trap just rolls right on out when you open up the trunk. And then you just put it right back in there. when you close it. So that's a pretty cool feature as well. Again, and it rolls very well. Wheels work very good, and it's a pretty cool little toy. So, the Ecto 1 from the new Ghostbusters movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Gotta put my proton blaster back in there. So, pretty cool toy, and it looks very nice sitting on my shelf back here. And again, like I said, I've got it sitting on the shelf in front of the box, so it's sitting like this on the shelf. And you know, I'm gonna keep the box, even though I'm not crazy about the box art, because that's just the type of person I am. All right, next up, the next show and tell item in this Ghostbuster theme is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Ghostbuster Mini Puff character. All right, so it looks like we open, and here looks like there's different characters in each bucket. So I wonder what character we have here. Mystery character. Guys, Ghostbusters Afterlife, I loved it, and this will be fun to see what mini Stay Puft character we have here. All right, it did come with a plastic piece around here. I already took that plastic piece off, but I have not opened the lid yet, so let's check it out. Ooh, what is that? It's like glue. I don't like that. I don't like sticky stuff at all. Is this like no, it says not intended to be eaten. So it's not like the marshmallow cream or whatever it is that you use when baking. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't like this at all. Okay. I'm getting all I should have had a pair of scissors. It's literally in my beard. It definitely it definitely does not taste like marshmallow cream. This is awful. Alright. Got it open. It's all stuck to my hand. Ugh. I don't know if people are gonna like this. I'm gonna shove that right back here in the bucket. Oh my gosh, I hate this. I hate this so much. Alright. So here is the bag that has the marshmallow character in it. Let's see who we got. There's the bag. And I got that guy. Completely awful. Everything about this was awful. Everything about this experience was awful. I think a little kid would enjoy this. I definitely think that a little kid, like, you know, my daughter's age would probably enjoy this. I found this completely terrible. Just awful. Alright, I'm putting that back in there. I might wash it off later and put it on display, but this was just awful. Putting the lid back on. It tastes like glue. I think that's what it is glue. That was, look, it's still over it. Awful experience. Awful experience. All right, so I didn't get any emails this week, but I'm not going to give up on this format. I'm not going to give up on this format. I'm going to keep riding this out for a year and seeing if I can get some momentum doing it this way with a weekly show. So again, email me at theoqreview@yahoo.com. I will answer questions at the end of all of my videos and get some engagement that way. So again, the lqreview@yahoo.com. Ask me any questions about movies or TV shows or any movie news or TV news or comic book stuff. I love comic books. Ask me any questions about what you think of any of this stuff, and let's have a dialogue. So again, the lqreview@yahoo.com. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for watching my video, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.